The mainstream narrative on Venezuela goes something like this: the Caribbean nation exemplifies what happens when a majoritarian civil opposition falls victim to violent repression by an authoritarian government at the helm of a pointless revolution from above. But if the results of Sunday's Venezuelan Constitutional Assembly's election are true, the theory is now untenable. According to official figures, more than 8 million voters turned out in favor of a proposed assembly. The assembly will have the power to rewrite the constitution in an attempt to unblock the stalemate between a right-wing dominated and largely inoperative legislative, and a left-wing executive whose business has faltered thanks to a combination of incompetent measures and plummeting oil prices. Not only that, the assembly will limit the effects of the decision by the U.S.-backed opposition to boycott production and not engage politically, while inciting reciprocal violence in the streets and inviting the army to join in a coup similar to the failed 2002 one. This opposition, it should be noted, is dominated by far right-wing sectors, for whom getting rid of Nicolas Maduro would also mean crushing, once and for all, the rebellions of the past 15 years. Two of these opposition leaders, Leopoldo Lopez and Eduardo Ledesma, had their house arrest measures suspended after violating their conditions. Lopez used his Twitter account last weekend, Trump-style, asking Venezuelans to take to the streets and ratify the 16th of July results by force. Days before, a video had surfaced where he urged the army to rise against the constitutional government, just like the civilian leaders behind the military coup did in Chile back in 1973. Venezuelans are as undeserving of such an opposition as the incompetent Maduro is of succeeding Chavez. Still, those on the right of the Labour Party now pressuring Jeremy Corbyn to condemn their arrest fail to tell us what would happen to someone in the UK or the US who sought to overthrow the elected government by force and inciting violence. They also seem more concerned with finding yet another stick with which to hit their now not so unelectable leader. Their line is the same used on daily basis by the Spanish right-wing press establishment against Podemos, and in France against Mélenchon. Rather, Corbyn and Labour should condemn the Trump administration's attempt to intervene yet again in the internal affairs of a sovereign Latin American nation. Class conflict is a good description of what is going on in Venezuela. The assembly will also provide an opportunity for those parts of society who drove the revolutionary process that began in 1989, peasants, indigenous people, the LGBT community, etc.,